Jai Jinendra everyone. Welcome you all to the third session of the topic which we have started 2 lectures back on Nischay and Vyavahar, real and conventional point of view. In this topic, previously, with the help of Anubhav Bhaiya, who is present here today to conclude this topic and module, in the previous sessions, we have learned about the fundamentals of Nischay and Vyavahar, which includes what is Nay, what is Praman, what is Nischay Nay, what is Vyavahar Nay, basically all the terminology of Nischay and Vyavahar we have learned with help of certain examples, with the help of differences, what is the difference between both of these. So this is all what we have covered. Before we start today's session, which includes about the common queries and few differences which we have left across, and also we will entertain your queries as well. Before that, I wanted to shortly introduce you all about this platform where we are having this lecture today. And this is kind of a Jain English education learning platform where you will learn Jainism in English language. It is a systematically designed portal, just like your other portals like LinkedIn, Coursera, where you can learn Jainism in English topic wise from A, B, C, D till the higher levels. So, how to access what is the curriculum? Everything I'll explain you at the end of today's session. Since today is the conclusion session, so I won't take much time, and I hand over this mic to Anubhav Bhaiya to start this session, lecture 3 of Nischay and Vyavahar, real and conventional point of view. Over to you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Harshil Bhai. Let's join our hands and have the Manglacharan. Ramo Arihantaram Ramo Siddharam Ramo Ayariyaram Ramo Vajhayaram Ramo Loe Savvasahuram Anantadharmanastatvam Pashyanti Pratyagaatmanah Anekantamai Murtir Nityameva Prakashatam. Judge and everyone, we are going to have the further discussion after our 2 lectures on the Nischay and Vyavahar Nay, the real and conventional point of view. So let's invest a minute or two to revise what we have done in terms of real and conventional point of view. So let's summarize this with a difference table over here. So perspective point of view, real point of view is having the view the substance as a whole, while conventional breaks down the substance into its traits and view. Nature point of view, it depicts the absolute truth. Other one is having the nature of depicting it figuratively, upcharit kathan. Truthfulness represents the truth and it's not the absolute truth. Depiction of substance using its own instinct qualities, swashrit kathan, while the conventional is having the establishing its relationship with the other substance or extrinsic qualities. Believe and impact is the uh, believe in this leads a soul to right believe, and considering this is an absolute reality, believing in this as a truth leads to the delusion. And this is going to be our very important point in this lecture to be discussed. And then the purpose of the real point of view is to attain attainment of the self-realization, while the conventional point of view also contributing in the same, but the purpose of it's to be describing the indescribability indescribable entities with the help of the external connection, uh, distinctions in the whole substance, etc. So that's how the whole uh, real point of view and the conventional point of view has came to in our life now, these with this purpose and the role. Now let's have some common queries. uh, so one of the very common queries can raise in our mind is, if conventional statement as you mentioned are not absolute truth, why state them at all? Can't we skip this? Can we not directly go to the real point of view? Why to waste the time? Why this is coming into the picture? If you would like to deny it, you are saying having the faith or the belief in the conventional point of view is leading to delusion. Who has really created that confusion? I'm asking to Acharya Bhagavan, you only mentioned this in the Jinvani. Can you really not remove this? Or can you really not refer this so we don't have any confusion? Which one to choose, which one to believe, which one not to believe? This is what the question we are having, right? Now, Acharya Bhagavan, Jnani Dharmatmas are giving the answer. Both Nischay Nay and Vyavahar Nay are part of Samyak Gyan. So, Vyavahar Nay is not completely false. Okay, Vyavahar Nay is not completely false. That is, I understood. Still, can't we let Vyavahar Nay be in the Vyavahar Nay? But for us, can't you really just give us the real point of view so that we have the Shraddhan of that and enjoy our life? Enjoy our life means enjoy the path of liberation. So then the next point comes into the picture. Human language cannot express all aspect of substance at once. Therefore, one aspect must be described at a time within a frame of reference. So having that sequence, when I'm talking about one dharma of the vastu, other dharma is not in that frame of reference at the moment, not in the frame of reference, but background it is present. So at that moment in time, one particular dharma is taking a lead. At the same time, another one is not on the front end. And that is where the Vyavaharna is coming into the picture to really break down the substance so that one at a time I can understand and one at a time Acharya Dev, Gyani Dharmatma can describe. So that is where the conventional statements are playing the role. Without conventional statement or without conventional point of view, the frame of reference, we cannot really describe the complex substance which is for our discussion atma in one word or one way. It cannot be described. It could be understood, that is perfectly okay, but description itself, human language itself is having a limitation, that you cannot express all aspect of a substance at once. No, I'll be able to explain. So let's have an example. Okay, I'm having this pencil. Okay, this is invisible here. I'm having this pencil. Let's explain this pencil's every attribute in one sentence. Can we do it? Okay, this is having a shape like this. This is having the hardness like this. But when I'm talking about shape, I'm not talking about hardness. And even to refer the shape, I have to break down this particular pencil breakdown in my knowledge that now I am talking from the shape point of view. Now I'm talking from the hardness point of view. Now I'm talking from the touch point of view, smell point of view, etc. etc. So this is something the human language itself is having a limitation. When I would like to describe, I have to break down the thing. So that is where the Vyavahar Nay is coming into the picture. Itself, Nay also having this attribute. And that is a beauty that until we reaches to the ultimate Vastu, everything becomes Vyavahar. So this is the very important aspect coming out of this particular conversation, is that there is a purpose of having the uh, conventional viewpoint, and the purpose is to define, describe uh, the substance which is in front of us. And in the Adhyatma way, it is Atma. Okay. So if conventional statements are not absolutely truth, why state them all? That's what the question we were having. Continuing to that, a substance has both general and specific aspects. General aspect is described by Nischay Nay and specific by Vyavahar Nay. Okay, Samanya and Vishesh. Without using Vyavahar Nay, complete description of all faces is not possible, and partial knowledge is ekant. So it will lead to ekant mithyatva. Therefore, Vyavharana is usually for depiction of the complete multi-dimensional reality in the scriptures. However, its belief as absolute truth leads to delusion. Not now considering this as only the truth, or considering this as a uh, I think this is where we can have the another question raised. Which part of Vyavaharana we are talking about from the belief point of view? Till the point we are talking about Dravyarthik Nay and Paryarthik Nay, and we are thinking about that from the Dravya point of view, I am eternal. From Paryaya point of view, I am having the changes every samay. So which reality to choose? Actually, both realities are chosen in the Nishtana as well. The only thing is the Nishtana is saying you understand the Dravyarthik Nay, you understand the Paryarthik Nay. Now, where you will stay. So, stay point of view, we need to stay or understand that Traikalik Swabhav. Uh, so, again, maybe another question can come, if I am accepting only the Traikalik Swabhav, not the Paryaya Swabhav, is it not the Ekant Mithyat? Right? So these kind of thoughtful questions has to be asked, and then rethink about it, understand about it. What we are talking about when we say believe Vyavahar Nay as absolute truth leads to delusion. The very basic clear example of this is Vyavahar Nay says that Deha and Atma, body and Atma, body and soul are the one. Okay, it is having the purpose when it is referred as a one, and to really fulfill that purpose, Vyavharna came into the picture, picked one particular purpose, solved that problem, and gone out. But we are still aligned to that. In Jinvani it has been written that Jeev is having the 14 Jeev Samas. Jeev is do indri, teen indri, having the five senses, four senses. So senses means the thing which we are able to see. So this body itself is Jeev, right? There was very specific purpose which Vyavharana was playing, but we misunderstood that purpose. We ignored that purpose, and we are now aligned that whatever Vyavharana has mentioned, I'll believe that as absolute truth. That is what the reality is. So that is the belief causing the delusion. As I mentioned, Vyavahar Nay is having various stages, various role to play. So wherever one dravya has been mixed with the other one while explaining, or that help has been taken, that is where we need to be very cautious. Number one. Number two, Vyavahar will do the bhed. So then, if I really have the chintan of all the time, uh, the factor, various factors which has been done eh, in one vastu, or various faces of the vastu has been explained. If I choose one phase, one phase, one phase, Atma is Gyan Swabhavi, Atma is Darshan Swabhavi, Atma is Charitra Swabhavi, right? All these aspects, if I choose one by one, I'll not be able to stabilize myself to the point where I need to reach. So, at one point, all this Bhed Vikalp will also be settled. So, that is where you need to understand that believing the Bhed itself will be leading us to delusion, right? So, this is how we need to be very specific when we talk about Vyavharna, which aspect we are talking about, and how exactly it is leading to delusion. So, this is our third question in the series. We will come to this point uh, to have a more discussion about it. Now, moving to another question here, which says that a very similar thing. If the conventional Vyavahar viewpoint can cause delusion, why it is included in scriptures? Number one, we have asked the question why to refer it. Now we are asking, okay, I'll not refer, but it is in the Janvani. Why it has been first place included in the Janvani should not be there, right? Again, the similar kind of question with a different perspective. So the answer is because it is compassionate teaching method. Without this, you are not really able to describe anything. You are not able to teach. So, just as we speak to children in their language or use gesture to explain something to someone unfamiliar with other language, भाषा अनार्य बिना न ज्यों समझाना शक्य अनार्य को व्यवहार बिन परमार्थ का उपदेश होए अशक्य त्यों. So this originally, this particular thing, this question has been raised by Acharya Kundakundev in Samay Granthadhiraj in the form like Atma is Atma, soul is soul. But then the things came, what is soul? I don't know. I don't understand this. So then Gyan Swabhavi, Darshan Swabhavi, Charitra Swabhavi. So is it three or one? If it is one, why you have mentioned three different things? So then the point came that this is how we need to compassionate teaching. It is a compassionate teaching method. Without this, we are not really able to put any point which we are having in our mind, right? So, Vyavahar is essential in terms of representing Nischay. That is why Vyavahar has been included in the scriptures. Okay. Similarly, Acharya used conventional statement to guide ignorant soul step by step. For instance, if someone is directly told you are pure soul, they may not grasp it. Therefore, scriptures use the familiar to reveal the ultimate Nischay, right? So, that is our second uh, question is being answered in this way. The method used by scriptures to describe the subject of real point of view using conventional point of view can be understood in these four different ways. So a person identifies, now we are able to see the relationship between Vyavahar and Nischay. seeing what exactly conventional point of views contribution in the real point of views representation. So it's actually real point of view sometime in background and front facing, or the spokesperson's responsibility lies to Vyavahar Nay, the conventional point of view. Now, this is something, the skill set we need to master ourselves. Whenever we are having the statement of Vyavahar, let's read in between the line. Let's understand the crux of it. Let's understand the will of it. What is the hidden purpose behind it? What is that which is unsaid here? And what is that which is intended to be said here? Right? So let's decode this particular statement. A person identifies with the body. So initially, scriptures explain the reality in relation to the body. That this body, this is Manushya. This pen is not Manushya, right? This other thing is not Manushya. This body in this living being is there. This is Jeev. So person with body has been mentioned as a Manushya, human, right? Now the next one. Later they reveals next step now beyond this physical structure. Later they reveal suffering is not caused by the body but by the karmas. So Gyanavarni, Dashnavarni. So this is no karm. This is Dravya karma now. So person has been identified. Going inside it, Vyavahar is saying, Vyavahar is saying that Dravya karma. So one way it is saying it is not caused by body, but by karmas. Okay. The next thing which is introduced by Vyavahar now is bhav karma. Then they reveal karmas and bound by delusion and passions, but they are not your true nature. We know, we accept that anger is there, but anger is there. Wherever is the anger, there is a soul. That is what the Vyavaharna is saying. But at the same time, we need to understand anger has been used to define soul, but anger itself is not a soul. The very, very basic way the body has been used to define the soul, the Dravya karmas has been defined, used to be used to define the soul. Similarly, this Ragdvesh has been defined to the soul, but Ragdvesh itself is not the soul, right? Finally, they describe these impurities are temporary and flaws, and impurities as temporary flaws, and direct the attention towards the pure soul. So now you understand what's the role of conventional viewpoint. If someone is really giving you the final picture, I'm not really able to visualize where to start. What is it? How we have reached to this stage? So now let's start with the body. Let's go inside. Who is the causing of the suffering? Jnana Varnadi. Let's go beyond that. This Mohiragdvesh. Let's go beyond that because Mohiragdvesh itself is for a one samay. And I am being here for all the time. Eternal past to eternal future and being in present, right? So that's how the method used by scriptures to describe subject of real point of view, which is this one, using the conventional viewpoint, can be understood in this way. And now the skill set which we need to understand is when the body itself is used to define the soul, we should have this soul behind the scene in our mind. When Jnana Varnadi Karma is used to define the soul, we need to see the hidden picture of this behind the scene. When anger is used to define the soul, we need to see this hidden picture behind the scene. I hope you have understood this gravity of having the conventional viewpoint as well, right? So in this way, conventional viewpoint act as a bridge to understand the real Nischay viewpoint. That is what our second uh, answer was. Now coming to the third uh, question, third common query: why believing conventional viewpoint to be true causes delusion? Uh, why believing conventional viewpoint to be true causes delusion on the path of liberation? What is the problem? It is telling the truth. I'm accepting it. And if I understand this as an absolute truth, how can it become mithyatva? How can it become the delusion? What's the problem with it? It is right. It is there. It is written in the Jinvani. And now you are saying that if you believe this, you will be having mithyatva. You will be having delusion. How come? That is the question. So let's understand. What we believe shapes our bondage or freedom. So now this is very niche point which we need to understand. What we believe shapes our bondage or freedom. And if we believe conventional viewpoint as absolute truth, which means I can believe number one, that body is soul, no point of having any other further discussion. And whatever happens to the body happens to the soul as well. There is no two parties here. What will happen? Another, from the eternal past, we are doing the same mistake. We are understanding that body is soul, and then we are having all the mohirag dvesh in the light of this. Now, let's go to the another one. Dhyana Varnadi Karm are giving me the trouble. I don't have any other thing to do. I don't have any capacity to do anything. This Jnana Varnadi Karm itself is having all the powers. Again, this becomes the Mithyat. Right? How come? Because then, how one will be free from the karmas? There is no way. If I believe that all the powers lies to Jnana Varnadi Karm, and Jnana Varnadi Karm itself is having all the control on the Atma, gone. Case gone. Right? Coming to the Mithyat Mohiragdvesh. Now, this is my integral part of the my nature. It cannot be uh, it cannot be separated. So anger is me, anger is mine, right? Starting from anger to having the greed, all kashaya, all the mithyat, and considering these kasai in my own nature, that is what the delusion is. And if that we understand, if we believe that, if we absolutely accept the Vyavahar Nay's point of view as a absolute truth, what will happen? Now there is no point. I can be free from all these uh, passions, right? So I'm I'm the doer of the passion and emotion. I'm the body. I'm the doer of body's action. Soul is divided into knowledge, perception, etc. All these bhed, we will remain entangled. So beyond this, that the picture which is behind this, I'm eternal, I'm Trikali, I'm constant, I'm Dhruv, I'm undivided, I'm Abhed, I'm pure, I'm Shuddh. That is something we need to establish in our belief, and that is where we move towards the liberation. That is the first step of the path of the liberation, that we believe the real point of view's truth, which is ultimately the one for which all the conventional point of views has been used, right? So very basic example why this was needed in the second question. uh, I would like to write a letter to you, and then that has to reach to your local post office. They will read it in which country it has to go. So from the methodology, the postman is going to read. First, it will reach to your local post office. They will read in which country this has to reach. They will not be interested which person. So then they will pack it with that country's container. Once it reaches to that country, they will no more be interested in the country part. They will be interested in which city it has to go. When it reaches to the respective city, they will be further interested in which colony, in which area it needs to go, right? So similarly, all these Vyavahar point of views are really acting as a uh, letter address. So very basic thing we are starting from which city, which country it has to go. In this whole teen lok, where is the jeep found? Jeep found in the body. Let's go inside. What is the cause of suffering? Dravikarm. Let's go more inside it. Is it Dravikarm or it is Bhavkarm? Let's go more inside it. Is this Bhavkarm the part of jeev, or Bhavkarm is different and the jeev is different? So in order to search that Atma Tattva, we need this methodology. But anywhere if it is stops and believes that this is the final destination, in between if it is stopping, that is where we remain entangled. The letter remain undelivered. So ultimate aim is it has to deliver to that person. Ultimate aim of the Jinvani is we need to understand how to decode this line, how to decode this address. What is the purpose behind this address written? Here is where it has to reach. So every line in the Jinvani is an address. Let's start with the country code, go to the city name, go to the area name, but then ultimately we need to reach to that particular person to who this letter is intended to. Ultimately, we need to reach to that particular viewpoint, which for which this whole exercise was there, right? Therefore, believing the conventional viewpoint to be truth reinforce long held delusion belief that must be renounced. In contrast, accepting the depiction from the real point of view as the ultimate truth breaks all bondage and leads to right belief. Puja Gurudev Shri mentions one very important quote: पूर्णता के लक्ष्य से की गई शुरुआत ही सच्ची शुरुआत है. Any journey which has been begun keeping the end goal into the mind is the real journey. So let's understand this. Anything and everything which we are studying, understanding, having the swadhyay, let's understand what is the end purpose of it, where we need to reach with this, what exactly this line is trying to convey to, and then what is the ultimate aim of it. So then we will find that our letters will not be undelivered in between, rather it will reach to the very point which was intended to be shown by Acharya Dev. When Acharya Dev has mentioned in Samay Sarji, दर्शाऊं एक विभक्त को आत्मा तने निज विभव से, दर्शाऊं तो करना प्रमाण न छल ग्रहो स्खल ना बने. When I'll give you the letter to be delivered to one particular person, let's deliver to that person. Let's deliver to that person in such a way that he will understand viewpoints as an absolute truth is the act of dropping that letter somewhere in between, right? So this is how, let's summarize this. Dual perspective on the same substance. Jain philosophy uses both real and conventional perspective to provide a complete understanding of the soul. That is why this dunya is called dunya. Conventional point of view is having the conventional perspective, uses divisions and analogies. It links different objects to offer deeper insight. However, it does not claim to present absolute truth. So this is needed, but this is not the so whole conventional point of view in our previous example. Though this letter has to be supposed delivered to Anubhav Jain, but then country name India, city name Pune, area name Sus is unavoidable. That's also needed. Otherwise, it cannot find that particular person in the whole um, population of 700 crore, right? Real point of view. The real point of view avoids division and analogies because it has now reaches to my doorstep. Now, no more we need the other address lines. So it focuses on subject's instincts quality. Its goal is to capture the essence directly. Impact on belief. Belief is the real point of view, leads to the right belief, Samyak Darshan, the first step towards liberation. So, believing the conventional point of view to be ultimate truth leads to delusion. The very important point uh, which we need to understand, the last one, these perspectives are complementary, not opposing. They both contribute to a full understanding. They are essential for exploring a subject in Jain philosophy. That is how uh, the whole philosophy has been explained, and that is what the unavoidable role of each of them. But then we need to understand when, what is to be chosen, how to utilize the power of both Nay and reach towards our ultimate goal, accept the ultimate Swarup of Atma. I'm eternal, I'm Trikali, I'm the constant, I'm undivided, I'm pure, I'm Shuddh. That's how. Let's establish path towards the path of liberation. Then move to path of liberation, then achieve the liberation. So that's how this beautiful topic has came to our discussion. Thank you very much all for having the patience. Over to you, Harshil bhai.
Okay. Can you ensure your screen, Bhaiya?
Yep.
First of all, very thank you for successfully completing this very crucial topic. While designing the presentation with the team, we have gone back and forth towards the content, what should be put in there, what should be explained, what kind of queries we should raise. So beautifully, Bhaiya has explained the entire presentation and entire queries which we have raised in the presentation. So thank you for that. Now it comes for the to and fro question answer session. If anyone from the audience is interested to raise any of the query or any of the thing which they wanted to understand, feel free to talk about it. Okay. So, Anubhav Bhaiya, can you quickly explain in Shastra there are two words in Shastri language, Bhutarth and Abhutarth. So, can you quickly explain about these two?
Sure. So this word has originally used in Samay Sarji Granthadhiraj, and further to the Gatha which we have referred in our conversation, uh, that Vyavahar is essential to explain the Nischay. And then uh, the the point has came further that Vyavahar Nay is abhutarth, is not. So let's explain first this what word mean is. Bhut means existence. Abhut means non-existence. So the point is, the ultimate truth which I would like to explain, the ultimate soul which to be believed, if we see from that point of view, all these descriptions which has been given by Vyavahar Nay, that body, Jnana Varnadi Karm, or the Mohirag Dvesh, are actually not present. So abhut means not present. Not present where? In the point of view of Nischay. In the ultimate subject which Nischay would like to present, in that particular subject, Vyavahar Nay is abhutarth. Right? So sometime this has been translated as satyarth or asatyarth, which means truth or non-truth, but that's not the actual translation of it. Bhut means present. Abhut means not present. So व्यवहार नय अभूतार्थ दर्शित शुद्ध नय भूतार्थ है. This is the original gatha from Samyasarji Granthadiraj. And for this, Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev has explained that if you have any lotus petal, uh, if you see from the outside, you will see that water, it is immersed in the water. But if you go to the closer to it, you will find that water is not able to touch the leaf part. So that's how they have explained the abad asprasht ananya. So I'll request everyone to really have the original reference from there. But to explain this question, if you go closer to lotus leaf, you will find that water is abhutarth. The point of view which was explained that lotus leaf in the water, I'm able to decode the reality that that particular explanation about the lotus leaf is abhutarth. So that was the example. But Siddhantic point of view, Atma has been mentioned as a Badh or Isprasht. Atma has been mentioned as a bondaged with the Jnana Varnadi Karm. That is what the Vyavahar Nay's point of view. But when I used the Nischay Nay, I found that this is Abhutarth. I found the reality that Jnana Varnadi Karm was in the Jnana Varnadi Karm and Atma, the soul, was in the soul. That is why the point of view which has been explained by Vyavahar Nay is Abhutarth. So that's how we can understand it. And similarly, we have the Ananya, Aniyat, Avishesh, Asanyukt. All those things has been explained beautifully by Acharya Amritchandra Dev with the various different examples. And very beauty of that particular statement is they say that if we see from the outside, yes, this is there. But then if I go to the closer to it, there it is Abhutarth.
Right. Got it. Okay, thank you, Bhaiya. So I thought to put up this point because everybody do Swadhyay and we have heard Samay Sarji Pravachan multiple times, the 11th Gatha and other Gatha referring to the same topic in the same terminologies, Nishya and Vyavahar as Bhutat and Abhutat. So thank you for explanation. With the help of this entire series of lectures, I think uh, everybody can get the idea of Nischay and Vyavahar, taking it from Pramad, Gyan, Nay, and then Nischay, Vyavahar, what are the common queries, and how is Nischay treated as jhootha in terms of day-to-day language, and what's the extreme reality about it. Everything we discussed. So it was a wonderful and very beautiful series. And if anybody who is listening to this lecture, maybe after 1 month, 2 months, or any other point of time, feel free to raise your query in the comment section. And if you want to get in touch, you can definitely get in touch with us on our website, on our email ID. www.jeev.net.in, and we will help you connecting with the expert Anubhav Bhaiya. And yeah, thank you everyone for your time. So shortly, I'll just take 2 minutes to explain you on the access point of Jeev portal. As explained earlier, Jeev is Jain English Education and Values. It's a portal designed for people to learn Jainism in English. All the topics, taking it from very basic Ramukar Mahamantra meaning and Dev Darshan ki vidhi till this topic Nischay Vyavahar. Later on, we will be having some gathas as well. In those 2 3 sets of lecture, we will be finishing each gatha. These kind of topics, these kind of study is what you need to um, get into this portal. And in this portal, you will also get access to the resources, the presentation which Bhaiya shared in the lecture. Once you click on the www.jeev.net.in website, you will get access to multiple courses, multiple lecture series such as Tirthankar and Bhagwan, just said Nischay and Vyavahar, and many more like Chhay Dravya, Sat Tattva. All the lectures, all the topics have been segregated amongst different classifications, basic to advanced level. And once you click on each topic, you will get access to all the resources such as articles, puzzles, quizzes, also the presentation which we have shared, Gurudev Shri lecture snippets. If you open any of the lecture snippet, let's say you're opening up a Gurudev Shri 4 minute lecture bite on Nishay Vyavahar. So that video will contain any of the small 5 10 minute of Gurudev Shri's lecture clip explaining about the topic Nishay and Vyavahar. The subtitles will be there in English. So it would be beneficial if you can go to the resources tab and click on snippets, Gurudev Shri lecture snippets. So that's all for today. And if you face any difficulty in accessing any of the lecture or any of the portal resource, feel free to email us or contact us. Anubhav Bhaiya, we can proceed with Jinwani Stuti now.
Sure. Let's join our hands. धन्य धन्य वीत रागवाणी अमर तेरी जग में कहानी चिदानंद की राजधानी अमर तेरी जग में कहानी वस्तु कथन चित नित्य अनित्य उत्पाद व्यय अरुद्रव्य स्वरूप वस्तु बखानी सर्वज्ञ भूप अनेकांत तेरी निशानी अमर तेरी जग में कहानी चिदानंद की राजधानी अमर तेरी जग में कहानी वस्तु कथंचित नित्य अनित्य स्वाश्रय से मुक्ति बखानी अमर तेरी जग में कहानी. Let's have the 9 times Namaskar mantra.
Jai Jinendra, everyone, and
Jai
thank you for
Jinendra.
your time.